Hey, truth seekers! Welcome to a new episode of Spill and Heal with Auntie Ree. Welcome, you guys. For tonight's episode, I really want you to get your journal and your pen, get your cup, and it's not going to be a long one. We're not going to dig deep into the topic. We're just going to talk briefly, go over a couple terms, and just have a little chat like we normally do. Tonight's conversation is just something to bring awareness to. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds if you didn't grab your journal and your pen to go ahead and grab it. And then we'll go in. Tonight's episode, if I have to give it a title, it will be Narcissistic Behavior versus Manipulation. And I always give my disclaimer that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist. I am a mental health advocate, looking to build a community, a safe space for us to come together and feel comfortable talking about topics on mental health and self-love. So if you need professional help, you can always dial 988 or 911 if it's serious. But yeah, we're just here for a community to love on each other. And so with tonight's topic, narcissistic behavior versus manipulation, it's not to pass judgment or belittle anyone. These are real terms. These are real topics that we discuss here. And on this self-love journey, we are all about seeking truth, to be better versions of ourselves for ourselves. And so this topic is just to bring awareness. There are some of us that are working on self-love and being better for ourselves. And with that comes boundaries. That's a term that we talk a lot about here at Team Love. And so we need to set boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. You want to be okay in setting boundaries. You don't want to, and it's hard. It's hard. It's not hard to create them. I think the hard part comes with being consistent in enforcing them. A lot of times you may get bullied or get just pushed into feeling guilty, or you might self-sabotage and bring guilt on yourself. A lot of times when we have to set these healthy boundaries, the majority of the time it's for family. I'd say more than for like say friends, co-workers, peers. When we talk about family, it can be our spouse, it can be our children, siblings, parents, extended relatives. There's really no one that should be excluded when setting these boundaries. The key word is healthy boundaries. It's healthy. It's okay for us not to be okay. It's okay for us to want to grow and be better for ourselves and to love ourselves. I say this all the time. When we love ourselves, we teach others how to love us. And that's what these healthy boundaries do. They help us to create a safe space for ourselves and allow us to put ourselves first. And so with the topic on narcissistic behavior and manipulation, they are two totally different things. I really go deep into my own personal experiences with this in both of my books, and I didn't grab them, but I will show you guys at the end, along with giving you my website. But I do touch on these with my own personal experiences with setting boundaries and just the behaviors that we get from others. You will lose relationships. It's hard, you know. You might get to a point where you say, okay, is this really worth it? But it just depends on where you're trying to go and how you're trying to grow. 9 times out of 10, once we're seeking that personal growth and development, we're going to continue through with the journey, through the hard part. We have to trust the process. For those of you who are new to Team Love and my self-love journey and our community here, I have created a framework, and I also go deeper into a lot of this too in my Auntie framework. It's AUNTIE. And in that framework, we touch bases. We talk about a lot of different topics. But boundaries, creating boundaries is in there. The AUNTIE stands for acknowledge your feelings, uncover your truth, nurture your spirit, trust the process, inspire, and empower. And so we are creating a workshop for that framework. And so I really want to go live, but I need you guys to follow me. A lot of you will check in. I'm on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube for the Spill and Heal. And so I need more followers so that I can go live, and then we can have a more interactive experience. But we'll go over those platforms at the end. But yeah, here it's all about building community. We have fun. We have all these cliches. The truth hurts, which it can be hurtful as we're seeking truth, because once we decide that we're gonna create these boundaries, and we may be seeking professional help to do it. I know I tell my story and how my journey began in 2021, seeking professional help. I was at a place where I just got sick and tired of myself, and I was ready for change. I didn't really know where to start or how to start. And so I just kept hearing the term boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And so, yeah, I wanted to learn more, but I wanted to learn more from professionals. I didn't want to Google or get information from other people, because I was ready. I was ready. I was serious. And so, along with God, of course, but we all know God helps those who help themselves. But yeah, I went to therapy, and when I got in there, learning, it taught me how to, what are boundaries? How do I create them? How do I enforce them? It also made me aware that, okay, you may hit some roadblocks, you may hit some animosity, but trust the process and keep going. And I did. And so I was able to set those boundaries, still love from a distance, and then, like I said, enforcing them. That was the really hard part. But I made it through. Those relationships are still there, and the respect comes. I'd say the respect does come. If you are important and you matter to the individual, we're all human. So in the beginning, they may, not understand. And a lot of times you get slack for boundaries where people might say, oh, you're just emotional. And a lot of times the aggressor will try to turn and be the victim and make you the villain and make you the bad guy. But at the end, I can say it was worth it. I can say I have more respect in my relationships. And the ones that came back, there were some that did not come back. They did not understand, and I'm okay with that. You still pray for people. You love people from a distance. But what you do is you are honoring yourself, and you're putting yourself first. And so, yeah, before I go any further, I did have some statistics about the narcissistic behavior and the manipulation. So I just wanted to read those real quick to y'all once I got done with my little chat and everything. But so narcissistic personality disorder, it is real, and it affects 1% to 1% to 6% adults. 75% are males, and among those, the more prevalent groups are young adults and then certain professional groups. And so, like I said, we were just touching the surface this evening, not really digging deep into this, but it's just something that I wanted to touch bases on. And then there are different levels of narcissists, but all of them are associated with aggression. And then I also have a few differences that I wanted to discuss with you all. And so the way this was broken down in my study that I was doing, and for those of you that may be taking notes, or you can just come back later, these Spill and Heal conversations are uploaded on YouTube, and I will give all that information at the end. But if you're taking notes, we'll go over the differences between narcissists and manipulation. And so the way it broke it down is the feature, like what feature goes with these two items, and then what's the differences. And so the first feature is motivation. What's the core motivation behind the behavior? And for a narcissist, it's they need admiration, validation, and self-importance. And then for manipulation, it's intentional to influence others for personal gain, power, or control. And then we have, what does the emotional profile look like? And for a narcissist, it's entitlement. They lack empathy, and there's this hot cold dynamic where one minute you think everything is good, and then the next minute it's like, hey, what did I do? What did I say? And then for manipulation, for that, it's guilt trip. It will be gaslighting. You may get the silent treatment. There's a lot of charm, and that's usually what gets them to pull the wool over your eyes, for lack of a better explanation. And then the next one we have is awareness. In awareness for the narcissist, they're truly unaware a lot of times of their behavior and the emotional impact that they may put on an individual. And then they shield criticism. They're always on the defense. They always have their guard up. And then for manipulation, that looks like it's calculated. They're fully aware of what they're doing, versus the narcissist. A lot of times they're really not aware of their actions. And then we have, what did I write? I can't remember. Typical tactics. So for the narcissist, it's they devalue, they discard your feelings, and the manipulation, what that looks like, again, it's always looks like charm and coercion and very deceptive. And then the next feature we have is, what's the outcome? Like, what do these two behaviors cause? And so for the narcissist, it drains self-esteem of others. Relationships become transactional. So like, what can you do for me? Manipulation, that looks like it creates a dependency confusion and emotional imbalance. And like I said before, it's like up and down, hot and cold. And so, yeah, a lot of confusion. And so those are just some of the features. And like I said, you can go back and watch this video and take notes if you didn't have anything to take notes. And again, this conversation is just to go over the basics. But I know we hear these terms a lot, and you know, we see so much trending, so many cliches, and so much on social media. And a lot of good, and then there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of positive, there's a lot of negative. So what I do is I take what's good, and the rest I just leave for the rest. A lot of it I just laugh at, and it really like becomes entertainment to me. But the key point in all of this is narcissists often manipulate. I thought this was a really good note too. Let me say it again. Narcissists often manipulate, but manipulation doesn't require narcissism. It's a tool that's used with different personalities. And so I thought that was interesting when I was like digging deeper into this and just trying to get some statistics and some facts into it. Because like I said, I've experienced, have my own experiences that I talked about in my books. But before we go, let me just show you my books. Oh, and this month, guys, is National Black Business Month. And so I did a post earlier where I was saying for Wisdom Wednesday, let's be intentional about supporting Black businesses. It doesn't have to be financial all the time. Although a lot of us, our business is not a side hustle, it's like what we do for our living. So it's nice to support financially if you can, or if it's something that you don't use, you can share it with others. So let's just be intentional about trying to go out of our way this month, and not just this month, but make it a habit to support our Black businesses. There's a lot of good businesses out there. And so, yeah, I talked about that earlier. But these are my two books. The first one, Healing Mother Wounds. I published this one last year. And then my newest one, which I'm really pushing, is The Voices in My Head, God in My Heart. And so, yeah, these are my two books. But my social media platforms, you can find me on Facebook at Cherie, Auntie Ree, Randolph Dunham. On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, you can find me at I am Auntie Ree, and that's IAMAUNTIEREE. I am Auntie Ree. And so, yeah, those are my platforms. My website is www.coachwithauntieree.com. I have some resources on there that are really good. I have a self-love quiz on there that you can take, probably less than 2 minutes. Just some awareness about yourself. Be truthful, authentic when you take it, and just see where you are, and it might guide you to where you want to start if you're ready to start on your self-love journey. And so, yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not, hit the little notification bell so that you can get notifications when I'm coming on. Once we hit 100 followers, we need to hit 100 followers on Facebook and on YouTube, so we can begin going live. So yeah, I'm depending on you guys to do that. That's how you can support me. If you're not ready to do the financial with buying books or T-shirts, collect a bunch of family and friends, and let's get those followers up so we can go live and have more fun and be more interactive. But until the next time, you guys be safe, be blessed, and love you.